That was weird. I literally just tried to start the live stream 1 minute ago at 2:01 my time on the dot, and my computer glitched on me and it said live stream isn't working right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you've got to work. So I literally was like, okay, we're going to just refresh everything and start again. I'm so grateful that it did work. Welcome everybody. I'm just thrilled that you are here today. We are doing another Wednesday WIP Knockout. So please go grab 3 projects around your home that you've been meaning to tinker with, but it's just been a long time since you've given it any love or any attention. Now is the time for us to make some forward progress in that project. I have my 3 projects right behind me here that I will be sharing with you as soon as we start our first 20-minute session. But we are going to have 3 more minutes at 2:05 my time, or whatever hour 05 your time. We're going to start this timer. So go grab your projects, get yourself something to drink so you can stay hydrated and you don't have to move anywhere. Get yourself comfortable in a nice seating position. Make yourself comfy, cozy, like get set up, make sure your projects are easily accessible, and then we'll get started. Hello, everyone. Hello. If you are one of those few people that are a one project at a time wonder, and I'm starting to get more and more showing up on my live streams, and it's really cool to hear from you. The restraint. I respect the restraint because I formed this Wednesday WIP Knockout live based on the mountain of WIPs that I have just completely encompassing my space, and I've got to do something about it. And I figured if I have this issue, I'm thinking other people have this issue too. Just a lot of WIPs and the feeling of no time to ever go back and work on them. We're constantly having new inspiration, new exciting yarn to play with. Got 2 minutes. Or we feel, at least I feel sometimes, man, I have so many projects, it's overwhelming. And in order for me to start working on an old project, that means I have to sacrifice time doing something else. And I end up not doing the WIP anymore because I don't want to sacrifice time with something else. So recently I've come across this concept of doing little steps regularly over time will lead to big change or big progress. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to apply this to my WIP projects, just giving the projects a little bit of time every week. And what I'm doing is making some kind of forward momentum on these projects, slowly chiseling away at them. And then they're done because I've given them a little bit, and then they're done and I can move them off my shelf, give them to the person that's been waiting for it, or donate it to the place that needs to be donated. And I can clear up my space and make room for new inspiration or just clean up my space. And so that's where we're going. And if we can give it 20 minutes for 3 projects, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, then that is not taking away any time, sacrificing anything else. I mean, I could spend 20 minutes easy on Instagram or on Pinterest. It's gone. And I'm like, what just happened with that time? It's disappeared. So it's 2:05 now. Let's go ahead and start our first session. Grab your first project or the project you're going to be working on. I have my iPad here for the timer. 20 minutes. Here we go. Put that right there so it's easy for everyone to see. I want to take the glare away. There we go. So if you ever want to look to see where we're at in our first session, you can just look at the clock here to see where we're at with that. I did try to find a software or some way that I could add a timer to the image on our screen. And unfortunately, the only one I found is a whole nother software that I have to pay a whole nother subscription for. And I'm like, not there yet. Not there yet. But this works for now. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to have all of you here with me on this Wednesday WIP Knockout. Hi, Mary. Hi, Racine. Hi, Betsy and Kelly. Oh, my gosh. So many people. Dawn, hello. Rebecca, Lana, so great to see you, Lana. Brenda, Monica, Kathy, A Godly Man 2002. I love that you have stayed so consistent. That is so cool. Like, just, I feel like I'm starting to get to know you a little bit. Okay, so now that our first 20-minute session has started, we can slow down a little bit because we're already in it. If you're brand new here and haven't been to any of my Wednesday WIP knockouts yet, the idea is we're going to have the 5-minute intro to get set up, then a 20-minute work session where we can work on one project, tunnel vision, no distractions. I'm going to be talking so that way you can feel like you have something to listen to and it's not boring, but you can honestly like mute me if you want to. Just look at the clock if you want to. It's 20 minutes to work on tunnel vision, one project, then a 5-minute transition where we will put away project 1, pick up project 2, and then we'll have our second session, 20-minute session working on project 2. Between project 2 and project 3, we're going to stretch, do a nice crochet or stretch and take care of our bodies. And then we'll have our third 20-minute session. And that completes our live for today, our Wednesday WIP knockout. Now, if you're somebody who is having Crojo issues, and I know I had 1 or 2 people in here that just like they needed a break from their projects, no crocheting for them at the moment, then you can color. I've had people color. I've had people cross stitch. I've had people do chores. I've had people work. There's these 20-minute sessions. Use them however you can benefit from them. Or if you're one of those one project wonder people, then we'll just do the same project for all 3 sessions with a little bit of a break in between. So that way you can stretch, move around, do what you need to do. Oh, thank you guys so much for reminding me too of the question marks. This is also a great time to ask any questions because I am live with you right now and we can do a little Q&A. It needs to be crochet and yarn related, please. But if you have any questions, you can start your question with a couple question marks. And I love those red ones because they pop out and make it easier for me to see as the chat is going by. And I also do have super chats and super stickers available, and those just help my channel as well as they pop out at me and make it a lot easier for me to be like, something to address catches my attention. Speaking of, Kathy, you've been a member for 2 months. Thank you so much for being a loyal supporter on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. I hope that you're enjoying it and enjoy using those fun emojis, those exclusive emojis that only you guys that are loyal supporters on my YouTube channel get access to. So go crazy with those. Go nuts. Okay. Before I dive into questions, which I'll scroll to the top to make sure I see everybody, I want to share with you the projects that I'm going to be working on. I know I said tunnel vision and work on your projects, but if you find a second, I would love to hear what you are currently working on today, what projects you brought with you, or what you just plan on doing with your time today. So if you could throw in the chat what you're doing, what you're working on, I would love to read that. Okay, the projects that I got over here. We'll see if I actually get to all 3. Usually my first session, I'm talking too much and I don't get to anything. But this project I started 2 years ago. I had asked in a poll on my YouTube channel if people, the 3 shapes, a hexagon, a pentagon, a hexagon, and an octagon, if which shape people would like to see me make a project out of. And I was thinking, gosh, there's so many hexagon projects out there. I wonder if people are curious about pentagons or octagons. And it was really funny because actually the most popular vote of those 3 ended up being hexagons. I'm like, okay, so people just in general really like hexagons. All right. But I was curious about pentagons and octagons. Like, how could I use these and, do something with it? And so I started on a project, again, 2 years ago, and it is a bag. So here's the bottom of it. And it's kind of like a dome. If you see that, it's like an oval. So it'll go like this. This is the bottom of it. And they are a bunch of pentagons. So 5 sides, and it's kind of hard to see with them joined. Let me see if I can get a little something. It's a little hard to see. Nope. That's just going to be too challenging. Well, maybe a little bit right there. You can kind of sort of see it to the top. But they're pentagons, and they formed like when I put them together, they created kind of like like this, the bottom of an egg. And I was like, okay, that's what it's forming. Interesting. Just kind of like working with it. So I was like, I can make a tote bag. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the tote with this solid, all these joined pentagons. And then I'm going to finish the bag with just a mesh kind of netting that'll finish the bag. So it'll be pretty solid. Again, it's just me tinkering, me playing, seeing what I can make with it. And I'm going to see how far I can get with that. Then project number 2. A couple lives ago at one of our Wednesday WIP knockouts, I talked about my collaboration project I did with Tony of TL Yarn Crafts. You guys remember this project, the kitchen trio, the 3 things that we did: a dish towel, a washcloth, and a pot holder. Oh, here's the little loopy pot holder, 2-sided. So we did the trio together, and it was so cute. I absolutely love and adore this. I don't know if I can ever bring myself to use this set because I just like the nostalgia of it, like referring back to these projects and being like, oh yeah, I remember that, you know. But and if I use it and like ruin one with a stain, I'll be devastated. And I mean, I could make something else with this. I really like the design. It looks really, really cool. And then I won't mess up the one that I made for that specific tutorial. But I have a bunch of yarn left over from that project because when Tony and I were setting that project up, we both bought the same colors. So that way we could look at the palette together and decide what we wanted to do with it. And I have some of Tony's, she used the yellow and like this coral like color. She used these colors, and now I just have them in this bag. And what else do I got in here? I got another one. Got some black because we also had black and gray. And I made an example with black and gray also. All the same yarn brand, same yarn line, the colors that we picked out. So I have some of these leftover yarns, and I mean, I technically could just like donate it, get rid of it somehow, some way. But I have a hard time doing that. I'm like, just use it. Just use it. You know, I already have a project in line that I would do with it. Just use it. So tinker with that a little bit. And then the last thing that I have is making a soap sack, because soap sacks are easy. You can bust them out really fast. They take very little thought process, effort, especially that new pattern that I just made. Do you guys see that? Did you guys download it already? The seed stitch pattern. Right here. The seed stitch. It's free. I have it in my community. If you didn't know, go check it out. After this live, go to my YouTube channel, go to my channel, click on community, and I put a link to this free pattern in a post that I made. I showed how to make this during a live tutorial for Hurricane Helene, and I'll talk about, that's another topic that I'll be talking about later. But when was it? I have it right here. It was July. In July, I was named, or I was selected, Soap Sack Star of the Month. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love it. And being nominated the Star of the Month for Soap Sack, they sent me, somebody made this. So cool. And they filled it full of 100% cotton yarn. And they just said, thank you for all your support and everything. And I was like, that is so neat. So that's what this bag's from, if you're curious. And I'll be making a soap sack for project number 3. Now look, we have 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in session number 1, and I still haven't touched a single crochet stitch. Me and my talking, man. Okay, I see a lot of activity happening here. I see a lot of question marks. So let me dig into the chat. Hopefully you guys you've got your tunnel vision on and you're working on these projects and you're just listening to me as you're making forward progress in some of these, chiseling away at some of your WIP projects. Ideally, hopefully. If not, I hope you're just having fun listening to me. Okay. So right now, I'm just going to quickly look for question marks. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy to see all of this engagement and all of you here. It's so awesome. Quickly scanning. All right, so Agave Man, 2002, you're the first question marks that I see. And you say, I feel like I am getting to know you too. Wish I could meet you. Oh, girl, you got to go check out my crochet club. It'll change. I mean, it's so much more of me and so much more involvement. And we have something planned. So go check it out. Oh, Racine. You're like, I feel like I know you too. Like, Racine, I know you. Oh, girl. I found another charity for help in North Carolina. Oh, Donna, you did? Can I email it to you, please? I just got a message. I need to actually call Cherie back. I'm like talking to you like I talk to a girlfriend, like a friend. Be like, oh man, I'm supposed to do that, and I didn't do that. Cherie called me yesterday from Warm Up America. She's the Warm Up America person, and she was reaching out to see if I had any updated information, and I haven't checked recently because I got a lot of other things going on that I'm trying to juggle. But if you have more new updated information, please forward that. That would be great. Nessa, you're here. Hi. RJ Smith, welcome. You've been working on a quilt fusion pillow. That sounds fun. For several weeks. So I would love to see someone else's project. Like someone else, please show me something else. Hi, Tony. Hi, Emma. I'm working on donation hats and granny squares to be used for Boggy Creek blanket. Love it. I actually am about to tinker with my own Boggy Creek blanket. I have everything kind of set up in my living room. I need to swatch. I could be a good girl. I'm going to swatch because whenever I just dive into a project, I always kick myself in the butt. Like, you could have known better. You could have just figured out, you could have had information if you would have just done a swatch. So I need to do a swatch and then get all my numbers so that way I can make the blanket as accurately as and efficiently as possible. In the UK, 2 WIPs making conversion booties. Converse booties. Love that. Okay, Agali Man 2002 said, I'm working on my blanket, which I've been working on for a while. Blankets take time. Whenever I do tutorials for blankets, I mean, the tutorial can take like 20 minutes, but it can take me like 2 months to prep for that project, make the demo, record the process, edit. I mean, like, it's crazy. A 20-minute tutorial, all the things that go into a crochet project takes so long. So I get it where you're like, I've been working on a blanket for a while. Projects, 2 teddy bears for the victims of hurricane. I love that. Thank you for making those. That's so special. Steph's working on a blanket. Ooh, Sandra, you're working on pumpkins, gourds, and acorns. Fall items should start on Christmas. I know. So there's part of me. So ideally, what I heard a long time ago, especially since it takes us crocheters quite a long time to work on things, is that I should technically be working on things 6 months in the future. So if I were to, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So technically right now I should be working on projects that would release in April. So that way I can be like well in advance and ahead of the game. If I could get there. Right now it's kind of like on a week by week basis, but that's the goal, is to like be so well planned out that I can then start advertising and marketing and like reminding people of, oh, do you remember this project? Oh, do you remember that project? Doing all the things that you should be doing. I know, the shoulds, coulds, woulds. Do you ever get Crochet? And when you do, what do you do to help you get through it? Also, does your daughter know how to crochet? Kathy, great questions. So yes, my daughter does technically know how to crochet. And if she had to, she could in a pinch, but she only knows like the very, very basic things because she's not really, it's not her passion. Her passions are other places. Like she loves plants and she is actually trying to learn how to homestead right now. She's fascinated by homesteading and how to be self-sufficient. And that's not me. I'm like, no, I'm like, can I just kind of glamp? Like, not camp, glamp, nice bougie old like camper, just move my home somewhere else. Like, that's me. And so my daughter and I were vastly different, but I did teach both of my kids and my husband at one point in time how to crochet. My daughter could if she had to. My son probably doesn't remember, and my husband probably doesn't remember either. Do I ever lose crochet? Absolutely. I think that happens to every one of us for different reasons. Usually I will lose crochet when I am forced to make the same project over and over and over again, and it's no longer fun. Crochet should be fun. Crochet should be relaxing. It should be doing all those positive things for you that crochet is good for. It's good for the de-stressing. It's great for the inspiration. It's great for getting your creativity out. But if you're forced to make something, the same thing over and over and over again, and you're just not wanting to, but you have to, or if somebody makes a special request or a custom order, and then I'm having to make something that I didn't really want to make. I'm just doing it because either financially or because somebody asked me to do it. Then I will lose crochet because I don't want to do that. I get just stuck. But ways that I found to get out of it for myself personally is, first, I'll recognize it. I'll try to recognize it as soon as possible. If you push yourself too far, I know a couple people that have done this before. If you push yourself too far down the I don't want to do this path, then you end up just almost like killing it for yourself, where it's almost like every time you pick it up, all you remember is that negative feeling. And so I want to try to squash that, find that crochet loss as soon as possible. Oh, 15 seconds left of section 1. 15 seconds. And when I recognize that the loss of crochet is about to happen, let me grab the timer real quick. Okay, session 1 is over. We're going to do a 5-minute transition. So if you are really close to finishing a row, 5-minute transition. This allows you to finish that row or wrap up whatever it is that you're currently trying to finish, or at least get yourself to a good stopping spot, and then put your project away nice and neatly into another location. Then find your second project and kind of just get yourself all set up. No rush. Take your time. Take a sip of your beverage, make sure you're comfy. Stand up. kind of things. But to help me get my Crojo back, I try to look for inspirations. I will go to the yarn store. I'll go to like the Joann's, the Michaels, the Hobby Lobby. I'll go to local yarn shops, the more expensive hand dyed, indie dyed, global yarn, the stuff from Italy, the stuff from France, all that fancy yarn that is in local yarn shops. I'll go check that out, because usually I just need to find a yarn that I'm just like, that just grabs me, that I just fall in love with, where I'm like, oh, you're so pretty. I want to make something with you. And then like, it's back, like I want to make. That's what you got to get back. I want to make something with you. Or I will look through my vast amounts of crochet books. I like to crochet. I like to collect crochet books. I like to collect crochet books that are old, because it's really fascinating. Some of these older projects are so cool. They're just made with dated colors, and people don't like the projects because all they see is the color. But if you can update, now we have so many more colors, we have so many more textures that we can kind of bring back a lot of these older projects to new life with all the new stuff, new materials we have to work with now. But I love crochet books also because the inspiration, the reminder of, you can make this, you could make that. Oh my gosh. Knowing how many different things you can make with crochet, it's like a good and a bad thing, because you're now inspired to make all these amazing things, but you end up creating a laundry list that is not achievable. Like, there's no way, but there's so many things that you want to make. So just being inspired. You lose Crojo, you got to re-inspire yourself. Remind yourself of why you love what you do. And also make small things. If you just made like a bunch of big things, or you just made a bunch of little things for an order, like I was a vendor. I sold things at, I did farmers markets. I did festivals, like big, I was a vendor at big festivals, holiday bazaars, holiday craft fairs, holiday markets. I also had inventory in little boutiques. Like there was a big section of my life where I tried to sell. I tried to sell hard, and I knew what it felt like to sell out of something because it was popular, and the need to make as many more as I can before the next event that I was selling at. And so I would make, again, that same thing as many times as I could, to the point where I'm like, I don't want to make this anymore, but it sells well, so it's like, it's so hard. 1 minute before we start section 2. Hopefully at this point, you've put away your project that you started with section 1, and you have your second project ready to go. So that was a long explanation, but it helped me tell a story that I just think is entertaining. So I hope that helped. You're looking for question marks. I have, or can't. A Godly Man 2002, you wrote something here. It says, can't, it's too expensive. Otherwise I would. I don't know what that's in regard to. So I'm like, that's probably you talking to somebody else, or something that I said, and I just don't know the context. Emma, my mom and dad are visiting me for the first time in almost a year. That's cool. Could you say hello to them, please? It would be so. Of course, I would love to. Hi, mom and dad. Like, what are their formal names? Let me know. Oh, there we go. Our transition time is over. Turning it to 20. Starting session 2. Let's see if I can actually crochet and work at the same time. Okay, my Volare pillow is in my living room. So A Godly Man 2002, I know you're going to ask about it. Like, hey, where's your Volare pillow? Like, it's in the living room because it's right with that project that I need to make a swatch for. But I have my table right here. I'm going to put my elbows on the table, and I'm still going to use my table to prop me up for my posture. So that way I can, help myself with all of those things that the Volare pillow helps me out with. It's not the most comfortable, but it'll work in a pinch. So I can easily do a net, chain 3, slip stitch, or single crochet. That's a single crochet. I can do that while I talk. Oh, and Emma, please put a question mark in there so I can see it, because I'm scrolling pretty fast because I'm kind of behind. Oh gosh, Dawn, you're saying you're continuing your son's blanket. You want it done? Like, I hear you, girl. Oh, very cool. Hello, Jillian and Alan. Big hello. Your daughter Emma has been a big supporter of mine for quite a while, and it is my pleasure to say hello to you both. Thank you so much for raising such an amazing daughter. Aw, I get it. My crochet club is $7.99 a month. It can be a lot for somebody, but we do a lot over there. There's a lot of value over there. And I'm constantly asking people how I can add value. In fact, there are a couple courses I'm going to be including in there pretty soon. Well, not pretty soon. I have a couple courses that I have on the docket that I need to get created. And in the beginning of 2025, I'm hoping to release those courses in my crochet club. Really, the crochet club is there to help me be able to do things for people I can't do over here on YouTube. Of course, Emma. A baby doll? RJ, you're working on a baby doll? Or I'm also working on a baby doll. Cool. With lots of crocheted curls? Aw. Right? You're like, thank God I'm patient. That's great. Another thing that you guys could mention in the chat if you want to are just some talking points if there's anything that you'd like me to chat about. So some things that I wrote down that I wanted to kind of talk with you guys about. On Saturday, I did a live for helping the victims of Hurricane Helene. It's the only thing that I could find that I could do at the moment. And I was feeling inside. I was like, every single day, these people are feeling the devastation that they're in, right? And so I was like, I've got to do something. So I did some research, and yes, new information is very welcomed. So any new information, please share with me. But right now, they're wanting us. I haven't checked new information if anything's changed yet since Saturday, but they're wanting us to wait on actually donating anything physical until they give us the green light. So I was just kind of sharing with everyone, if you want to stock up, stash bust on some blankets for adults, some blankets for kids, some beanies and scarves, some shawls, some soap sacks, some stuffed animals for some kids. Go crazy, go nuts. And I will let you know as soon as I find information on where we could potentially send anything. I need to call North Carolina Disaster Relief. Yes, State Disaster Relief. I need to call them again. North Florida. And unfortunately, Florida's about to get hit again. So I'm just like, oh boy, these poor people. Oh, so you can absolutely try the free trial for my membership. And then as soon as the trial is up, you can absolutely stop the membership. I actually have quite a few members from the UK. And because of that, I have 2 Saturdays a month that I go live at 11 a.m. my time. And it seems to work out for a lot of the people that live over there. I think it's more like 6 p.m. their time, but they can make it. And I try to do that for that whole crowd. So twice a month. And then you're also getting all the other value. That's just my lives, but that's just part of what you can get over in my crochet club. You're in Oklahoma, so it'd be 7 p.m. And then if 7 p.m. is too late for you, then same thing. The 2 Saturdays a month, we go live at 11. And I think this coming Saturday is one of those Saturdays. So if you wanted to give it a try, but you will miss out tonight. We're going to be talking. The topic is going to be to niche and crochet a circle. Somebody asked about that. We get a little bit, I kind of just cover what people want to know about over there. I have no restrictions. No algorithm to worry about. Nessa, did you see my message earlier? I have not. Ooh. Yes, I have not seen your message yet, Nessa, but I'll go check the crochet club after this to see. Oh, thank you, Fran. Yeah, and there's more coming too. She's like, there's so much over there. And it's like, yes, there's more coming too. You don't even have to show your face. So there's actually a couple options. You can either watch the live just like this over in the Crochet Club, where you can just respond in comments. And if you want to, there is a little button that you can push that will take you to the Zoom. And over in the Zoom, you have the option if you want to share your camera or not. There's some people that don't. That's totally optional. So however it's most comfortable for you. And if you have like a question, it's great. Again, you don't have to share your face. You could literally just go to the Zoom. And if you have a question, you just raise your hand. There's a little button you push to raise a little hand emoji. And then you can talk to me and ask me your question. And I can help you as best as I can through it. So lots of ways to participate and enjoy. How young is your youngest member? That's kind of funny. She's 13. My youngest member is 13 years old. And she is awesome. And I love what she brings to the group. Just the age range in the group is vast. It's vast. And everyone brings their interests, their talents, their abilities, their inspirations. It's so cool. What is the best worst project I have ever worked on? Oh boy. Oh, best project I ever worked on. Oh, that's tough. I made a stuffed animal. I wonder if I have a picture of it. We have 9 minutes and 40 seconds left of session number 2. Do I have? Ugh. Like old patterns. I probably should get rid of these. Are you in here? There is a pattern I made as a baby gift. No, not you. Nope. See, I'm just as bad as everybody else. Like, I like to print them out, though. There's something about like seeing it on paper I like so much more than digital. It's gonna be like the last thing I find. Nope, it's not in there. You over here? I'll have to find it and I'll bring it to our next live on Wednesday. Our next Wednesday live. I'm gonna write that down. Find the tow truck. It was a tow truck. Cool. But super detailed. Super detailed. And it was just magnificent. It took me forever to do it. But the response to it, people just thought it was so cool. And I loved being able to show people that crochet could be something completely different. Because at a baby shower, you get a lot of the same things. You know, what you would kind of typically think off the top of your head. Blankets, maybe a beanie, or baby booties, or maybe like some kind of clothing, like a sweater or something, but nothing like what I made. And so it was really cool to be able to do that. And I've never made it since. It was so much work. But that is probably a thing that I remember, and that was the coolest thing I've ever made. And the worst, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of projects to sift through. I would think probably the worst ones would be the ones that I didn't care for the texture of the yarn. If that makes any sense. Yeah, either being gifted a yarn that wasn't my favorite, or somehow I acquired a yarn and it was just really difficult to work with, either because it was so highly textured or the texture I just didn't like. Yeah. I can't even remember a project that was like the worst. Huh. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. That one's tough. Oh, I have so many more question marks. Look at you guys. We have 5 minutes of session 2, and then we're going to do a little bit of a transition, and then we're going to start stretching. So be prepared. Don't forget the live streams in the Crochet Club are also interactive Zooms. Yes. And they're also replays. So if you can't make one, you can watch the replay. So you can feel like you didn't miss anything. Oh, you like my chair? My chair gets a lot of attention. My chair I got off of Amazon, and if you were not aware, yesterday and today's the last day. It's Amazon Prime Day, where they're doing some major deals. I have a link to this chair in I think the last 2 Wednesday WIP knockouts in the description. I have like my chair. Somebody asked about my chair. Here's the link to it. And that it'll take you directly to it if you want to check it out. It is very comfy. And it has this feature where it's like a little leg thing that you can pull up from the bottom of the chair. So you can have like a leg rest and it leans back. It's great. It's pretty awesome. Do I have to tell my age and gender? Absolutely not. There's a lot of people that I have no idea. It doesn't matter either. So that's not what the Crochet Club's about. I wish you could see this monster of a blanket. It's bigger than I had anticipated, and it's heavy, half double and double crochet. Ooh, that sounds like what I used to do before I started swatching. That was my biggest thing for the longest time, was every time I would make a blanket, it'd be too big. And that's because I, at the time, just didn't have the experience to know gauge or to swatch. And I would basically make my chain and I'd be like, that looks good. And I would literally take my chain, I'd make a chain and be like, okay. And I'd put it over myself and I'd be like, yeah, that looks good. Like that would fit. That'd be a good comfy size. Like, that was my measuring go-to. That's how I would gauge. Like, yeah, that looks good. Not thinking that about the stitch, and if the stitch would expand the chain or shrink the chain, or knowing if I actually hit multiple stitch count requirement. I have a couple blankets. I will say that there are a couple blankets that I made, especially chevrons, and this one blanket that I'm completely frogging apart that had this beautiful front post double crochet kind of like detailed design in the blanket, but I didn't pay attention to multiple stitch count requirements. So one side of the blanket either cut the chevron at a weird spot where I was like, oh, that looks funny. Or I literally cut this image of this detailed blanket. I cut the image at a weird spot. That one made it complicated for me to end or begin the row, depending on where it hit that image. And it also, I'm cutting off the image. It was like, what the heck? So I learned a lot from that before you begin, if you want to control the size of your blanket, got to swatch. Yes, it's not the most convenient, but like I mentioned earlier today, I'm about to start a blanket project for Camp Boggy Creek, and I'm about to swatch. And every time I just jump into a project, never fails. I want to kick myself in the butt. I'm like, you could have known so much information if you would have just swatched. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Do you have any tutorials on how to read a pattern? That's going to be one of the courses that I'm creating over in the Crochet Club. Reading a pattern and how to crochet from the very beginning, but really breaking it down into smaller sections so it's easier to digest, and also including all of those things that just seem to get missed or skipped over because we're trying to meet a timing length, not necessarily cover everything. Okay. Session 2 is over. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. You got 2 minutes to wrap up your second project, finish the row, finish whatever it is you were doing, fold it up and put it away nice and neatly so that way we're not making a mess for ourselves, and setting it aside. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and just stand up. And as soon as the timer goes off, we will start our crochet stretches. Okay, grab my chair out of the way. And move my camera. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Oh, that's in. I want to move out. Okay. Does it cut off my head? No, it doesn't cut off my head. Okay, we're good. Okay, got 1 minute. So if you are still working on your stuff, don't worry. You got 1 minute. But if you're done, go ahead and just stand. Just stand up. Move around a little bit. Move around. Let's get that blood flowing. Get that oxygen moving through our bodies. What if I'm on Zoom? Then you would hear my voice. Not that I have a problem. When you go onto my Zoom meetings in my crochet club, you're instantly muted upon entry. And unless you unmute yourself, you'll stay muted. In fact, it's one of my rules where I need you to stay muted until I welcome you to unmute. That just helps to avoid a lot of the background noise that everybody has in their own homes. So we don't have to worry about all that background noise, and also makes it a lot easier for us to control the meeting. Welcome back, Samantha. I love all the questions. A Godly Man 2002. You really got to check out my club. And do I have to tell my name in the crochet club? So when you sign up, you will, because it will ask you to create an account. But I'm the only one that sees that. And you can use like a nickname if you want to use a nickname. And when you, time's up. So you can use a nickname if you want to, like my 13-year-old. She is known as Snoodle Doodle. Hello, Snoodle Doodle, if you're watching. And that's all we know her as. We know her as Snoodle Doodle. We don't know her first name. We don't know her last name. We don't know, for identity purposes, we let it be. We only know her as Snoodle Doodle. So if you want to stay on as a Godly Man 2002, even in my crochet club, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this stretch, guys. All right. So when it comes to the crochet stretches, the main thing that we're trying to get accomplished, move out of the way, is that we just sat down for 50 minutes straight. That was 5 minutes for us to set up our first 20-minute session, the 5-minute transition, our second 20-minute session. So that's 50 minutes of us just sitting down. So we just need to move our bodies so that way we can get the blood moving accurately. We can get the oxygen moving through our body. And we don't have any pooling happening anywhere. I know it's all anatomy, but also we're not putting our body in any kind of position where it can start accruing aches and pains. We want to instantly squash that before it even begins. And we can squash that before it begins by standing up and doing a little stretching every 40 minutes. It is a common crochet health kind of thing. I don't even know the word for it. I'm having like a brain lapse right now. But it's something that a lot of us experienced crocheters try to get across to newer crocheters also, that you really do need to take a break every approximately 40 or so minutes. So that way you can take care of your body and you can help your body to not start developing those aches and pains that can happen. So I try to focus on the neck, the shoulders, the upper chest, the lower back. our forearms, our wrists, and our fingers. Those are the areas I try to focus on, but I only do 5 stretches each week. And because there's more body sections than 5, I just kind of try to rotate and do something different every single week. So that way it's always different and never boring. Like you're like, oh, she's doing the same thing again. No, I try to do something different every time to shake it up. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to start from the top and work our way down. Before we begin, I am not a doctor and I'm not a physical therapist. I am just a crocheter that is sharing with you some stretches. If I do any motion that you're like, nope, I can't do that, that doesn't feel good to me, then please do not do it. Feel free to substitute out any stretches that I do for something that you can do or something that feels better for you. I'm just giving some suggestions, but basically just stretch. That's it. Okay. All right. So starting from the top, we're going to do yeses and nos. So starting with yeses, we're going to start with our chin to our chest and then back and then front. Like we're saying yes, back. Let's do that 3 more times. 2 more times. 1 more time. Great. Now we're going to do nose. So we're going to look to our right and then look to our left. We're going to do that 4 more times, total of 5. Right, left. Amazing where you feel it. Right, left, right, left. 1 more. Right and left. Fantastic. Great job. All right. The next stretch that we're going to do is it's like a butterfly to a W. So I'm going to demonstrate it and you'll get what I'm saying. I just don't know the exact term for it. We're going to take our hands. We're going to cross them in front of us. So whichever way you want to do. So cross them in front of us. Go all the way up. And when you come down, bend your elbows for a W. And they're going to be like behind you like this. This is going to open up your chest because we do so much like this. We really want to open that up. So front and W. Do this about 5 times also. And if you want, you can change which arm goes first. Front, W. I really like this one. Front, W. 1 more time. Front and W. Mary Q, are you sleeping or are you with me? Let me know. All right, next stretch here. I wrote them down. So rotating side to side. So we're just going to twist. So keep your hips straight, keep your legs straight, and we're just going to kind of like rotate. It's just a twist. Let's do this 10 times. Okay. So rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Okay, we're going to do forearm stretches next. These are the very typical stretcher forearm stretches that you may know very well. I'm going to have my palm face down for this one. So taking your hand, whichever hand you want to start with, have the palm facing you. Take your other hand, your thumb, put your thumb behind your wrist. Put your fingers on your palm and then flatten out your hand. Keep your elbow bent. And then we're going to slowly, once your hand is flat and you're really kind of forcing it flat, then we're going to slowly straighten our elbow and we're going to feel that stretch in our forearm. And it feels so, so good. This is a great stretch, very common stretch for most crocheters. Just hold it for 10 seconds. 7, 8, 9, 10. Unbend your elbow and then just kind of shake it out. Let's do the other one. So other hand facing you. Put your thumb behind your wrist. Hand, flatten that out. bent, and go ahead and elongate. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now there's another way you could stretch where you have your hand palm out and you flatten, elbow, extend, then the other side, and that will get the other side of your arm as well. But I'm going to move on to the next stretch just for timing purposes. But I'm going to tell you about that just in case you want to do it. Wrist rolls is going to be the last one. It's going to be number 5. So taking our wrists and just rolling them is going to help tremendously with kind of the same areas or similar areas as these stretches that we just did throughout our wrist, just about 10 of them. And if you want to, you can switch sides, but it doesn't really seem to help me with anything. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But that's it. That is all 5 stretches. We did the yes, no's. We did the butterfly to a W. We did the twists. We did the forearms, and we did the wrist rolls. Thank you so much for stretching with me, guys. I hope you liked them. I hope you feel really good. Share with me which one you liked the best. Mine is always the butterfly to the W. Oh, I love that one. That one's so good. Wish I could do that one more, but there's other ones I like just as much, if not more. Gonna zoom in. Go ahead and grab project number 3. This is the last project we are going to do together. And the timer has started. Yay! Oh, Christine, I'm so glad that you made it. I hope you guys liked all the stretches. So again, the idea is just to basically move our body. Move our body, make our body move in a different way than we've been sitting for 50 minutes. And it doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but it just has to be something. And I hope you liked that. Oh, Kathy, you say, I don't know how to swatch. Oh, you've got to check out my series. I should redo that. I mean, I did a pretty good job before, I feel. There's definitely a couple tutorials where I'm like, I could redo that one. I could update that one. That one, I think I did an okay job. Check out my swatch series on my channel. I break down all my secrets and how I use a swatch and how I figure out all the different sizes for blankets in my patterns. So if somebody asks or somebody wonders how I can take a blanket that I'm showing you how to make and share with you all the information to make all these other blanket sizes with this stitch, I just do the math with the information I got from the swatch. And I share with you how I do that in that video. I shared my secrets. RJ said, I have used your tutorial for the Pico border and the blanket. Oh, that one is a favorite. Several times. Oh, I'm so glad that you've used it several times. Good, Mary. I'm glad you're awake. Cool. I am all updated with the chat. We are good with that. All right, I'm going to grab my soap sacks. I think I'm just going to do, I think this is going to be easier for me to do while I am chatting away with you all. Hopefully you guys are feeling really good, feeling really productive about your Wednesday WIP knockouts. Hopefully you made some good progress on some of your WIP projects. And you're making a good dent in them, wrapping them up. Oh my gosh, guys. How are you do you decorate for the season? Do you decorate for fall? Do you decorate for Halloween? I have been seeing so many decorations and I get excited. I love Halloween. I love fall. It's my favorite season. But man, I am no good when it comes to decorating. My sister's the decorator. She's the one that goes nuts when she decorates. It's so cool. Me, I look at people that decorate and go all out and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. This year, I think I'm going to go I want to go overboard with pumpkins. I would love to have like gourds, mini pumpkins, big pumpkins. I'd love to just kind of load up my front doorstep with a bunch of pumpkins. Never done it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. I want to do that this year. But what do you decorate? Do you have like a bunch of things in your outside, inside kind of feel? Doesn't have to be Halloween. It can be fall, but man, I do. I just love getting into the vibe, like getting all excited and love it so much. Did you see my question? I must have missed it. Can you please ask it again? Cool. How many? 17? I can change 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 15, 16, 17. Cool. Oh, well, thank you so much, RJ, for being here today. I had so much fun chatting with you. I hope you can make it next week. Same time, same place. Nessa, you said you used to decorate for Christmas and for Halloween. You no longer decorate. Oh, I mean, I get it. That's when your mom passed away right around that time. I understand how that would make feels come up. And big hug to you. Big hug to you. I get that. It just changes how it feels. And also, yeah, health can be a big reason because it can be a lot of work decorating. Like I get that. Ooh, I totally get that. Am I going to do a tutorial on the Denver retreat squares? I intend on doing some of the Warm Up America squares on my channel. Yes, I believe I've even recorded them. I am so backlogged on editing videos. It's not even funny. So as soon as I can get those out, I will. But right now it is nuts. Lots and lots of editing to do. Editing is not quick. Thank you, Nicole. I'm so glad that you were able to make it. A Godly Man 2002. You decorate the first day of November. That sounds fun. I like that. And you said you had a question. I don't remember. Could you ask your question again? I can't recall. What's on your hook? Or what is on my hook? Is the cottage. Oh, how big is that blanket, Samantha? I feel like you've been working on that thing for a while. And I'm like, that sounds like it must be a massive project. I mean, mosaic blanket, I'm sure it's beautiful. Mosaic's really pretty. And also doing granny squares for Boggy Creek. Very cool. Oh my gosh, Kelly. I wish I could see it. Kelly says that her daughter and her will decorate different themes for Halloween. And this year it's Scary Science Laboratory. Whoa, That sounds so much fun. And there we go. How can I keep my hair out of my projects? Oh, girl, I pull it into a hair tie and still get it everywhere. I mean, unless you wear a hairnet, I don't know if it's necessarily possible to keep it out of everything. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you keep your yarn in a yarn bag or a yarn bowl so it's away from you and not right next to you. Because sometimes if our yarn's like right next to us and we're just kind of like doing something with our hair, getting it out of our face or something, then hair will just naturally like do its thing and it'll fall and like just land on your yarn, and then you're working it and it just kind of works your hair into your crochet project. So I would probably keep your yarn like away from you so that way that can't happen. And then I would store my project in a bag so that way my project I didn't set it down somewhere where hair could land or be, it's just kind of like almost keep it in its own space. So that way it's not having any contact with your hair or anywhere your hair might be. Maybe that'll help. That's an interesting question. I've never even thought about that before, but I have had multiple projects where I'm like, oh, how did a piece of like a strand of hair get in there? Like, what? I'm excited. I got them in 2002. I hope you love it. And it's a free trial. So I want you to go. I want you to snoop. I want you to look at everything and decide if you want to stick around or not. Hi, Christina. Your mom would decorate every single room for Christmas, lights, balls, or something, and hanging decorations. Wow. So she was one of the super decorators. That's, a whole nother level. Like, I think it's cool to like see that and visit that, but not live in that. Oh, Kathy, you say you have an awesome tip. When we have a cake, like cotton cake, take an old tube sock and cut the tube off from the foot and put it around the cake to keep it from unraveling too quickly. I like that. That's cool. Oh my gosh, you totally just asked that question. Do we have time? Oh my god. Oh my god, I saw your question, Emma, and I totally just geeked out. I don't know if you saw my eyes. I just got like I was like, oh my gosh. And then I like looked at the clock. So I did. I just started Agatha All Along and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Like there's 4 episodes and I've binge watched them twice. I'm like, when's the next episode? I'm tempted. So like you just got me like on a whole nother level. No worries. You don't have to like Halloween. A lot of people don't. No worries. But make sure I'm doing my project right here for a second. Oh wait. Okay, I'm good. I'll make sure I'm not talking and then accidentally making a mistake. So something that happens for me is I find shows way late. Like a lot of shows I find that I really love ended up like airing 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I'm only like just now finding them. And by the time I find shows and find that I really like them, they've been discontinued or they've decided not to air a new season. And so once I find the show and I'm enjoying it and want more of it, it's already been canceled. And I get so frustrated and so sad because I'm like, oh, why is it that the shows that I don't care about go on for like 10 seasons and the shows I do care about end up getting canceled right away? And so I am like this tempted, this close to just going on social media and saying, I really like this show. It'd be cool if you started a new season, just so the producers could get some feedback and see that. So that's my opinion. I love the actors. They're doing a great job, and I am sucked into the show. Those of you who are not, it's totally cool. I get it. We can all like different things, but I will share that. I am enjoying that show a lot. When calls the heart? I have not seen that yet. I'm gonna have to check that out. When calls the heart? And write it down. Something else to crochet to. Yay! Okay, everyone, congratulate Monica. Congratulations, Monica. She just finished her WIP. Yes. Yes, it's got to feel so good. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Did I get your question? The one question I see is you asking about the crochet club. And I think it's totally worth it. But it's up to every individual. There's some people that hopped in and it wasn't for them. And so it's all up to what you're looking for, what you need, and yeah, I guess just kind of like what you're hoping to get out of it, what you're looking for. So, and I am still in beginning stages of it. So, like I mentioned, there's a lot I can offer at the moment, but I have even more that I'm building that will be released in 2025. So it's ever evolving, and I am constantly I try to bring lots of value over there. I try to be very engaging, give people things to do, fun activities, play games. It's quite interactive. But also, if you just kind of want to, I'm working on the learning part. I'm working on going there and being able to be in the crochet club and get a lot of value without engaging, just kind of like on your own. Like, what can I find here that I can get by myself? I mean, you can definitely go there. There's a lot of tutorials, questions that I answer, things that we go over that people want to know that I have not shared here on YouTube that I'm building up. But yeah, there's a lot more value coming. It's a work in progress. Oh, here, got my hair. Okay, we got 2 minutes left, guys. Let's hardcore like tunnel vision and rock this. Do. It's a WIP knockout. I love it. Whoop, whoop. I am working on a soap sack because it was kind of an easy project I could work on without having to count or think too much on it. I could easily just kind of work on it and chit chat at the same time. Oh, Dawn, fingers crossed for you. She says, I'm hoping to have my son's blanket knocked out before next week. Emma, I have one to add to that. Oh, I have done, but want to make bigger and 5 more blankets to make before. Oh, girl, that's a lot of blankets. Best of luck to you. Fingers crossed for you. You've got this. You can do it. There might be a lot of late nights, but you can do it. You got it. You got to go check it out, Samantha. A lot of your questions will be answered just by going and checking it out. Oh, that's very kind of you all. You're working on blankets in your sleep. I'm so sorry. Oh, and that's it, guys. Our 20 minutes is up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a blast. I hope that you were able to make a significant dent in your WIPs. I mean, Monica finished one, so like congrats to her. I hope that most of you, if not all of you, can experience this as we are going along with these Wednesday WIP knockouts, that you can just start knocking them out. Yes. Thank you for being here, for your time, for taking the opportunity to work on your projects, clear out your space, and just either minimalize or make room for new inspirations. This is just us being able to finish what we started, which is so hard for us crocheters sometimes. You guys, thank you for being here. I hope you loved it. Make time for next Wednesday, because I'll see you again for another Wednesday WIP or WIP Wednesday knockout. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody. And for my Crochet Club members, I'll see you tonight.